calmness and serene meadows lived a man named Thomas. He was a simple man with a kind heart and an appreciation for the beauty that surrounded him. He lived in a small cottage, surrounded by lush gardens and fragrant flowers that filled the air with their sweet fragrance. Thomas was a gardener and spent his days tending to the blooming flora and fauna that surrounded his home. One day, as Thomas was tending to his garden, he noticed a small stream that flowed gently through the meadow. It was surrounded by tall, green grass and dotted with lily pads and water lilies. The stream was bordered by large, majestic trees that provided shade from the warm sun. Thomas was drawn to the stream, and he decided to follow it to see where it would lead him. He walked for hours, taking in the beauty of the meadow and the trees that surrounded it. He breathed in the fresh air and let the tranquility of the moment wash over him. As he walked, he came upon a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a small lake, surrounded by towering cliffs and lush, green trees. The lake was crystal clear, and the sun shone down, illuminating the depths below. Thomas was awestruck by the beauty of the lake and decided to take a swim. He undressed and stepped into the water, letting the coolness wash over him. He felt the tension in his body melt away as he dove into the depths of the lake. He swam leisurely and let the tranquility of the moment wash over him. He was surrounded by the calmness and serenity of the lake, and he felt at peace. After his swim, Thomas sat on the shore and watched as the sun began to set. The sky was ablaze with vibrant colors, and Thomas was struck by the beauty of it all. He watched as the sun disappeared below the horizon, and the sky faded to a deep blue. The stars twinkled in the sky, and the moon rose, casting a warm glow over the lake. Thomas sat for a long time, taking in the beauty of the night sky. He felt calm and at peace, surrounded by the tranquility of the lake and the stars above. He realized that this was the kind of peace that he had been searching for all his life. As the night drew to a close, Thomas got dressed and headed back to his cottage. He went to bed that night with a smile on his face, knowing that he had found a place of peace and tranquility. From that day forward, Thomas visited the lake often, and he made a promise to himself to always appreciate the beauty that surrounded him. He lived a long and happy life, surrounded by the peace and serenity of the lake, and the memories of that day stayed with him always. Years later, long after Thomas had passed away, people still remembered the man who had found peace and tranquility in a small lake surrounded by rolling hills and serene meadows. They remembered the man who had appreciated the beauty of nature, and they felt comforted knowing that his memory lived on. And so, the lake remained a place of peace and tranquility, where people could come and escape from the chaos of the world and find the calmness and serenity that Thomas had found all those years ago.